The Golden State, once vibrant with life and promise, now wears a cloak of ash and despair. The lush landscapes and bustling cities have been replaced by a haunting silence and a sky perpetually tinged with smoke. The once thriving communities now stand as ghostly remnants of their former selves, a stark reminder of nature's unforgiving power. The early weeks of 2025 etched themselves into California's history, marked by the relentless fury of wildfires. These fires were not just a fleeting disaster but a prolonged siege that tested the resilience of both nature and humanity. The fires spread rapidly, fueled by dry conditions and high winds, engulfing everything in their path and leaving a trail of destruction that would take years to mend. The skies, once a brilliant blue, turned an ominous orange, the air thick with smoke and the acrid smell of destruction. The sun, obscured by the haze, cast an eerie glow over the devastated landscape. The once clear air became hazardous to breathe, forcing residents to wear masks and stay indoors, further isolating communities already reeling from the disaster. From the iconic hills of Los Angeles County to the sprawling forests further north, the flames left their mark, forever changing the landscape and the lives intertwined with it. The once lush greenery now stands as a testament to nature's fury. Wildlife habitats were decimated, and countless animals perished or were displaced, adding to the ecological toll of the fires. The January 2025 fires were different. They were unprecedented in their intensity and scope, a stark reminder of the growing threat posed by climate change. The fires were fueled by a combination of extreme heat, prolonged drought, and strong winds, creating a perfect storm of conditions that made them nearly impossible to control. They were not just another seasonal threat, but a fiery inferno fueled by powerful Santa Ana winds and a landscape parched by years of drought. The perfect storm of conditions created a nightmare scenario. The fires moved with terrifying speed, jumping highways and rivers and consuming everything in their path, leaving residents with little time to evacuate. These fires raged for weeks, defying the tireless efforts of firefighters who battled with unwavering courage. Their bravery in the face of such overwhelming odds is nothing short of heroic. Firefighters worked around the clock, often with limited resources, to protect lives and property, risking their own lives in the process. They consumed everything in their path, leaving behind a trail of devastation. The loss of vegetation has also increased the risk of landslides and erosion, posing further threats to the already vulnerable landscape. The scale of the destruction is hard to comprehend, even for those who witnessed the flames firsthand. The sheer magnitude of the fires left an indelible mark on the collective memory of the state. The emotional and psychological impact on residents, many of whom lost everything, is profound and will take years to heal. Entire towns have been reduced to rubble. Communities that once thrived are now ghost towns, their residents scattered and their futures uncertain. The economic impact is staggering, with billions of dollars in damages and the loss of livelihoods for many who depended on the now destroyed infrastructure. Homes, businesses, schools, and hospitals all turned to ash. The infrastructure that supported daily life has been obliterated, leaving a void that will take years to fill. The rebuilding process will be long and arduous, requiring significant investment and support from both the government and private sector. The familiar landmarks that once dotted the California landscape are now gone, replaced by a haunting silence broken only by the wind whistling through the skeletal remains of trees. The sense of loss is palpable. The cultural and historical heritage of many areas has been irreparably damaged, adding to the collective grief of the communities affected. The human cost of these fires is immeasurable. The emotional scars left behind are deep and enduring, affecting countless lives. The loss of life has left families and communities in mourning, struggling to come to terms with the sudden and tragic events. Families lost loved ones, their lives tragically cut short by the inferno. The grief and sorrow are a heavy burden that will take a long time to heal. The support of mental health services and community solidarity will be crucial in helping survivors cope with their loss and rebuild their lives. Thousands more were displaced, forced to flee their homes with only the clothes on their backs. The sense of displacement and uncertainty adds to the trauma experienced by these communities. Many evacuees face the daunting task of starting over, often with limited resources and support. The images of families huddled in shelters, their faces etched with fear and uncertainty, serve as a stark reminder of the human toll exacted by these disasters. The road to recovery will be long and arduous, but the spirit of resilience remains strong. Communities are coming together, offering support and hope to those affected, demonstrating the enduring strength and solidarity of the human spirit. The names Palisades, Eaton, and Hughes will forever be etched in the memory of Californians. These fires, which erupted almost simultaneously, created a perfect storm of destruction that overwhelmed firefighting resources and left communities scrambling for safety. These are not just names on a map anymore, but symbols of a catastrophic event that reshaped the landscape and lives of countless residents. The fires spread rapidly, fueled by dry conditions and strong winds, making containment efforts nearly impossible. They are synonymous with the devastating fires that tore through Los Angeles County in January 2025. The flames consumed everything in their path, leaving behind a trail of destruction that stretched for miles. The Palisades Fire alone, the fourth most destructive in California history, ravaged over 23,000 acres. It left behind a charred landscape, a grim testament to nature's fury. The fire's intensity was such that it created its own weather patterns, further complicating firefighting efforts. The Eaton Fire, a close second in terms of devastation, scorched 14,000 acres, claiming the grim title of the most damaging fire in Los Angeles history. The once vibrant areas now stand as silent witnesses to the destruction. The fire's rapid spread caught many residents off guard, forcing hurried evacuations and leaving little time to save personal belongings. The iconic landscape of Los Angeles County, known for its rolling hills, lush canyons, and sprawling urban communities, has been forever altered. The transformation is stark and heartbreaking. The once green and thriving ecosystems have been reduced to barren wastelands, affecting local wildlife and plant species. Beloved hiking trails, once teeming with life, are now barren scars on the mountainsides. These trails, which once offered solace and adventure, now tell a story of loss and resilience. The local tourism industry, which relied heavily on these natural attractions, faces an uncertain future. The homes of celebrities and everyday citizens alike were reduced to smoldering ruins, a stark reminder that in the face of such untamed fury, wealth and status offer no protection. The sense of community, however, remains unbroken. Neighbors have come together to support one another, sharing resources and offering comfort in these trying times. But the fires did not discriminate. They consumed everything in their path, regardless of who or what stood in the way. The diverse landscapes of California, from dense forests to urban areas, all fell victim to the relentless flames. They swept across the state, leaving their mark on communities large and small. The scale of the destruction was unprecedented. Entire neighborhoods were wiped out, and the rebuilding process will take years, if not decades. The small town of Paradise, still reeling from the devastating campfire of 2018, once again felt the wrath of the flames. The resilience of its residents is a testament to human spirit. Despite the repeated devastation, the community remains determined to rebuild and recover. The town of Grizzly Flats, nestled in the Sierra Nevada foothills, was virtually wiped off the map. Its loss is a poignant reminder of the fragility of our communities. The town's history and heritage, cherished by its residents, now exist only in memories and photographs. The statistics, though staggering, fail to capture the true magnitude of the loss. Numbers cannot convey the emotional and psychological toll on the affected communities. The trauma experienced by those who lost their homes and loved ones will linger long after the flames have been extinguished. Over 10,000 homes, each representing a family's hopes and dreams, were reduced to ashes. The personal stories of loss are countless and heart-wrenching. Families are now faced with the daunting task of rebuilding their lives from scratch. Businesses, the lifeblood of local economies, were destroyed, leaving countless residents without jobs or incomes. The economic impact will be felt for years to come. Local governments are now grappling with the challenge of providing support and resources to help these businesses recover. Schools, libraries, and community centers, the very fabric of these communities, were lost, leaving residents with a sense of displacement and uncertainty. The road to recovery will be long and arduous, but the spirit of these communities remains unbroken. Efforts to rebuild these essential institutions are already underway, with a focus on creating more resilient and fire-resistant structures. As the smoke clears and the initial shock subsides, the daunting reality of rebuilding begins to set in. Communities are faced with the overwhelming task of assessing the damage and planning for the future. The road to recovery will be long and arduous, marked by challenges that test the spirit and resolve of Californians. Volunteers and local organizations play a crucial role in providing immediate relief and support. The financial burden alone is staggering, estimated at over $20 billion, a figure that underscores the scale of the devastation. This amount includes not only the direct costs of rebuilding but also the indirect costs such as lost income and economic disruption. The rebuilding effort can be broadly categorized into three key areas: residential, infrastructure, and environmental restoration. Each area requires a coordinated effort from government agencies, private companies, and the community. Each presents its own unique set of challenges and costs. Engineers and planners must work together to develop sustainable and resilient rebuilding strategies. Residential rebuilding. The most immediate and pressing need is to provide shelter for the thousands of families who lost their homes. Temporary shelters and housing solutions are being set up to accommodate displaced residents. The estimated cost of rebuilding over 10,000 homes is a staggering $10 billion. This includes not only the cost of construction materials and labor, but also the expenses related to permits, inspections, and compliance with new building codes. This figure includes not just the cost of construction materials and labor, but also the cost of acquiring land in areas where land is scarce and expensive. Urban areas face additional challenges due to higher land prices and density. Infrastructure repair. Beyond rebuilding homes, there is the monumental task of repairing and rebuilding critical infrastructure. This includes not only physical structures but also the underlying systems that support them. Roads, bridges, power lines, and water systems were all damaged or destroyed by the fires. The disruption to these services has a cascading effect on the community's ability to recover. The estimated cost of restoring this vital infrastructure is $6 billion. This includes not only the immediate repairs but also investments in making the infrastructure more resilient to future disasters. Environmental restoration. The fires left behind a scorched earth, stripped bare of vegetation. The loss of plant life has significant ecological impacts, including soil erosion and loss of habitat for wildlife. The environmental cost of these fires is difficult to quantify, but the need for restoration is urgent. Conservationists and environmental scientists are working to develop plans for replanting and habitat restoration. Replanting forests, restoring ecosystems, and mitigating the risk of future fires will require an estimated $4 billion. This effort is essential not only for the environment but also for the long-term resilience of the community. The road to recovery is paved with good intentions, but it is also littered with obstacles that threaten to derail the rebuilding process. Each step forward is met with a new set of challenges that require innovative solutions and unwavering determination. From logistical hurdles to financial constraints, the path to rebuilding is fraught with complexities that test the resilience of communities and the efficiency of response mechanisms. Workforce shortages, rising material costs, environmental concerns, and a pre-existing housing crisis all present formidable challenges. These issues are interconnected, creating a complex web that must be navigated carefully. Each of these factors influences the others, making it difficult to address one without considering the impact on the others. Workforce shortages. The construction industry, already facing a shortage of skilled labor, is now tasked with rebuilding thousands of homes and businesses. This shortage is not just a local issue but a national one, affecting timelines and budgets across the board. The lack of available workers has led to increased competition for skilled labor, driving up wages and making it difficult for smaller contractors to compete. This shortage is driving up labor costs and delaying the rebuilding process. The lack of skilled workers means that projects take longer to complete, and the quality of work can sometimes suffer. Additionally, the pressure to meet deadlines can lead to burnout and high turnover rates among workers, further exacerbating the problem. Attracting and training a new generation of construction workers is essential to expedite the recovery. Vocational training programs and apprenticeships are being ramped up, but it will take time to see the benefits. These programs aim to equip young people with the skills needed to enter the construction industry, but they also require significant investment and coordination between educational institutions and industry stakeholders. Rising material costs. The cost of building materials, already on the rise due to inflation and supply chain disruptions, has skyrocketed in the wake of the fires. This has made budgeting for reconstruction projects incredibly challenging. The volatility in material prices has forced many contractors to revise their estimates and seek alternative sources, adding to the complexity of project management. Lumber, steel, concrete, and other essential materials are in high demand, leading to price gouging and shortages. Contractors are finding it difficult to source the materials they need, further delaying projects. The scarcity of materials has also led to an increase in counterfeit products, posing additional risks to the quality and safety of construction. This is further exacerbating the financial burden on homeowners and delaying reconstruction. Many families are finding themselves in a precarious financial situation, struggling to make ends meet while waiting for their homes to be rebuilt. The uncertainty surrounding the timeline for reconstruction adds to the stress, making it difficult for families to plan for the future. Environmental concerns. Rebuilding presents an opportunity to create more fire-resistant communities, but it also raises environmental concerns. The use of fire-resistant materials and eco-friendly practices is essential, but it comes with its own set of challenges. These practices often require specialized knowledge and materials, which can be more expensive and harder to source. The clearing of debris and the construction process itself can have negative impacts on air and water quality. Ensuring that these processes are carried out responsibly is crucial to protecting the environment. This includes implementing measures to control dust, manage waste, and prevent contamination of local water sources. Balancing the need for speed with the need for environmental responsibility is critical. Sustainable building practices must be integrated into the recovery efforts to ensure long-term resilience. This involves not only using eco-friendly materials, but also designing buildings and communities that are better equipped to withstand future fires. Housing Crisis California was already grappling with a severe housing crisis before the fires. The destruction of thousands of homes has only intensified this issue, making it even more difficult for families to find affordable housing. The increased demand for housing has led to a surge in rental prices, pushing many families to the brink of homelessness. The loss of thousands of homes has only exacerbated this crisis, displacing families and driving up rents. Emergency shelters are overcrowded, and the demand for temporary housing has surged. This has put immense pressure on local governments and nonprofit organizations to provide immediate relief while also working on long-term solutions. Finding affordable housing for displaced residents is a top priority, but solutions are complex and require a multi-pronged approach. Community meetings and collaborative efforts are underway to address this pressing issue, but it will take time to see significant progress. Innovative solutions such as modular homes and public-private partnerships are being explored to accelerate the availability of affordable housing. Amidst the challenges, a spirit of innovation and resilience is emerging. Communities are coming together to rebuild stronger and smarter, learning from past experiences to create a safer future. Architects, builders, and policymakers are exploring new and sustainable solutions for rebuilding, with a focus on creating more fire-resistant and environmentally friendly communities. This collaborative effort aims to integrate advanced technologies and innovative designs to withstand future wildfires. Fire-resistant materials. Traditional building materials like wood are being replaced with more fire-resistant alternatives like concrete, steel, and stucco. These materials not only offer better protection against fires but also contribute to the durability and longevity of the structures. Metal roofs, fire-resistant windows, and ember-resistant vents are becoming standard features in new construction. These elements are designed to prevent embers from entering homes and igniting fires, significantly reducing the risk of fire damage. Sustainable architecture. Architects are designing homes and buildings that are not only fire-resistant but also energy-efficient and environmentally friendly. These designs incorporate renewable energy sources such as solar panels and use sustainable materials to minimize environmental impact. Passive solar design, rainwater harvesting systems, and drought-tolerant landscaping are being incorporated into new construction projects. These features help reduce water usage and energy consumption, making homes more sustainable and resilient to climate change. Community planning. Rebuilding also presents an opportunity to rethink community planning and zoning regulations. Urban planners are working to create layouts that enhance fire safety, improve evacuation routes, and ensure that communities are better prepared for future wildfires. Creating defensible space around homes, encouraging the use of fire-resistant landscaping, and strategically locating new development away from high-risk areas are all part of a comprehensive approach to wildfire mitigation. These strategies aim to protect lives, property, and the environment from the devastating effects of wildfires. As California looks to the future, a proactive approach to wildfire prevention is taking shape. This involves not only immediate actions but also long-term strategies to address the root causes of wildfires and mitigate their impact. State officials, scientists, and community leaders are collaborating on comprehensive plans to minimize the impact of wildfires and ensure a safer, more resilient state. These plans include detailed risk assessments, community engagement, and the integration of traditional ecological knowledge with modern science. Advanced cutting-edge technology is being employed to predict and monitor wildfires. This includes the use of sophisticated algorithms, machine learning, and real-time data analytics to enhance the accuracy and timeliness of wildfire predictions. Satellite imagery, drones, and AI-driven models are providing real-time data and early warnings, enabling quicker response times and more effective resource allocation. These technologies are also being used to map fire-prone areas and develop targeted intervention strategies. Forest management. Sustainable forest management practices are being prioritized. This includes the restoration of natural habitats, the protection of biodiversity, and the implementation of fire-adapted ecosystems. Controlled burns, selective logging, and the removal of dead and overgrown vegetation are methods being used to reduce fuel for wildfires. These practices are carefully planned and executed to minimize environmental impact and promote forest health. These practices aim to restore the natural fire cycle and promote healthier, more resilient forests. By doing so, they help to reduce the intensity and spread of future wildfires, protecting both human communities and wildlife. Community education. Public awareness and education campaigns are crucial in preventing wildfires. These initiatives focus on teaching residents how to reduce fire risks around their homes and how to respond effectively in the event of a wildfire. Communities are being educated on fire safety practices, evacuation plans, and the importance of creating defensible space around properties. This knowledge empowers individuals to take proactive steps in safeguarding their homes and families. Local workshops, online resources, and school programs are all part of this effort. These educational tools are designed to reach diverse audiences, ensuring that everyone has access to the information they need to stay safe. Legislation and policy. New laws and regulations are being enacted to support wildfire prevention and response. These policies are informed by the latest scientific research and are designed to be adaptable to changing conditions. These include stricter building codes, funding for fire prevention programs, and policies that encourage sustainable land use and development. By enforcing these regulations, the state aims to reduce the vulnerability of communities to wildfires. Collaboration and partnerships. The fight against wildfires requires a united effort. This involves coordinated actions among various stakeholders, including government agencies, nonprofits, private companies, and local communities. Government agencies, nonprofits, private companies, and local communities are working together, sharing resources, and coordinating efforts to build a safer and more resilient California. These partnerships are essential for pooling expertise, resources, and manpower. The road ahead is challenging, but with innovation, collaboration, and a commitment to sustainable practices, California is paving the way for a future where wildfires are less destructive and communities are better prepared. The state's efforts serve as a model for other regions facing similar challenges, demonstrating that with the right strategies, it is possible to coexist with fire in a safer and more sustainable way.